It's not my way of living. I simply don't want to live that way myself, but if it's what she wants to do, then it's fine. I feel her way of life is too restrictive. I want her to get out more among people and do more things. She's missed a tremendous amount in life. And at least I feel she has. She feels she's had a very full life. But I think as far as being with people and social life, there's so much more. And I would like to see her get out more. But this is her choice, and I can't force my way of life on her. But I also have to admit she has a better education than any kid I know coming out of high school.
After I wrote the book, I had to teach myself how to type, and I had to get a typewriter. So what I did is I traded some work for my mom, and she gave me a typewriter, this old broken-down typewriter she had. And it didn't work right, so what I had to do is sometimes the carriage wouldn't return. I had to tie a rubber band on the one end of the carriage and stick it onto the wall, set the typewriter on the table, and then when I typed, the carriage would, the rubber band would pull the carriage over. That was about the hardest part of typing. The work that I traded for my mom to get the typewriter was going to get my high school diploma because I quit school in 7th grade. Actually, I didn't quit school in 7th grade. My dad took me out. I didn't have enough nerve to go ahead and quit it.
Why did that happen?
I wasn't getting along well in school. I was very nervous about school.
Like my son, Carl, he thrives in school. He really digs it. I wouldn't dream of taking him out of school because it's good for him. And it's probably good for most people. I couldn't see that this nonsense would go on, so I took her out of school. She relaxed, she started reading, she started studying, she started learning. I think on the whole it was good for her. I think she did learn more at home than she would have learned in the school. It seemed to have worked out very well. But at first I was afraid that there would be a social problem, that she wouldn't know how to get along with people. But she gets along with people fine now, so apparently it worked out.
Hello.
I'd like to buy 60 pounds of wheat.
60 pounds of wheat?
Yeah, and I'd like it clean because I'll be eating it.
You want it to be clean for eating purposes. That would be $5.50.
It's gone up a little. Is that this year's wheat?
That's this year's wheat.
Can you deliver it?
Yeah, we'll deliver it.
When most people think of a feed and grain store, they think it's for animal feed. But you can get human feed there, too. They have wheat, they have soybeans, and we buy potatoes there by a 50-pound bag, and they only cost about 3 cents a pound. Thank you. I'll have to look at it. Wow, they really did clean that nice. Okay, here's wheat, and then here's the wheat in its husk. So you just throw that away, and that's all there is to it. People have been eating wheat for hundreds of years. The Roman army practically marched on nothing but wheat. It's healthy, it tastes good, and it's cheap. And it's not that much trouble to prepare.
Okay, why don't everybody buy it and eat it?
They don't know about it. The only thing, or else they're too lazy to just do the little tiny bit of processing. See, when people go to work and they have a 9-to-5 job, then when they come home, they're too tired to crack a little bit of wheat. It's easier for them to then go and buy convenience food, and they'll come home and it'll take them 10 minutes to cook up a dinner. It'll take us a little longer because we have to grind the wheat and all. You know, it's funny the way some people think about it. A lot of people think we work very hard, and a lot of people think we spend all of our time bumming around. In reality, we do a little bit of mild work every day. We do more in the spring than we do in the rest of the year, but it averages out to no more than 5 hours a day each. And it's work we enjoy doing. The thing with work is, how do you say what's work and what's leisure? Is it work for us to go down fishing when he's fishing and I'm swimming and he likes to go fishing anyhow? Is that work or is it leisure? Or,
We eat the fish.
Right, but we get work out of it. We eat the fish. If we like to putter around the garden
You're right, huh?
and have a garden for a hobby and eat the produce, is that work or is it leisure? I go out on bird walks. I'm a bird watcher, and when I'm out, I'll pick up nuts, berries, or corn that may be around the fields. So I'm producing some food, but I'm also doing what I want to do. The saying is that work is something you do when you'd rather be doing something else.
We see.
So according to that definition, a lot of what we do, even though it does produce food, isn't work.
This house, when we moved in, it was a total shambles. That's why it was so cheap. We plastered the outside wall. It was a brick, and we mortared the whole thing over ourselves and painted it. We put in the plumbing, we put in some of the electrical, and we built the bathroom up practically from scratch, because it was a store. It had been a store. So we did the whole thing. Dolly did everything.
We're going to run up here with the cinder block chimney to replace these pipes so we get a better draft. And to put the chimney in, we have to have a footing, a cement footing. To knock holes in the wall and to have the stovepiping come out, we'll have to plaster up and make it look nice. And then we'll have the chimney going straight up and cut out that little bit of wood molding there and have it go up above the roof stump. Okay, let me get in there. Wash your hands.
All right, let me get this out.
We'll find some worms for the fish. Are you gonna fill up that,
I'm going to make a greenhouse here eventually.
Yeah, 20 years from now.
No, soon.
Let's finish up the rest of the house first so we can live in it.
Well, first the chimney.
All right, first the chimney, then the roof, and then we can start discussing other things.
Okay.
When I wrote Possum Living, I didn't know if it would sell, but I said I'd do a good job because more and more people are worrying about how they're going to feed and clothe their families. When I had finished the manuscript, I didn't know how to sell it, so I wrote to 2 book companies, and they wrote back and said I should find an agent through the literary marketplace. So I looked up agents and found one that specialized in how-to books and sent it to her. Well, she went to New York and sold it to Universe Books. Universe just sold the paperback rights to Bantam Books, and it's going to be reissued.
Are you going to be doing any more publicity, Marsh?
No, I don't want to. I'm not going to do any more and just going to stay home and recover for a little while.
You know, you promised me Phil Donahue before I die.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I really think you should. It's really a chance to travel where it doesn't cost you any money.
It's also a big hassle, and it's also a lot of strain, you know.
Think of the places you can get to go and the things you can do.
But if you want to sell your soul, you can do just about anything.
There are some things that might be worth doing it for.
No, I don't think so. I differ.
Well, sweetheart, will you say grace, please?
Yes. Dear Lord, for what we're about to receive, we are thankful. We thank you for thy provision for all our needs. Amen.
We thank Bob for providing it.
God's bounty.
Hey, do you want to serve me or can I serve myself?
As a prerequisite of Possum Living, with the subtitle, How to Live Without a Job and Almost No Money, I personally think that a prerequisite would be to own a house free and clear of a monthly mortgage payment. I don't have that luxury. I have to provide food, utilities, and other necessities of life for my family. I have not had a copy of the book long enough to be able to read it from cover to cover. I have read excerpts from it. It was very interesting, fascinating, but just from the standpoint of having a mortgage or a house free and clear of a mortgage would tend to exclude me before going into personal preferences of lifestyle.
Now, if you were willing to spend a little of your time going to sheriff's cell, which not everybody knows, which is why I put it into the book, and do a little bit of looking around, you could find a house cheap, but the house would be run down somewhat. It's hard to look for, but as you're saying, paying off a mortgage is hard.